All right, we are live.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Howdy.
I'm good. And you?
Good.
All right, shall we make a small round of introduction first? All right, I can start. My name is JLo. I'm the product manager of Home Assistant.
I'm Mike Hansen. I'm the voice guy at Nabokasa.
And I'm Kevin Arndt. I'm the creator of Micro Wake Word.
Great. And
This
we are
is
here.
Voice, Chapter 7.
Voice, Chapter 7, 38.
Chapter 7 of, I don't know.
I mean, there is 38 there. So at least we at least need 38 chapters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, today we have a very packed agenda. We have many things to present. It's going to be nice. Let's start by the beginning. We are all of us. We are here because of you. We all work for Nabokasa. Nabokasa provides Home Assistant Cloud, which is a nice way to give remote access to your Home Assistant instance. And by paying for that service, you help the OpenHome Foundation, which Home Assistant, ESP Home, and many more projects that you will maybe hear in this stream are part of. And this is how we work, more or less. So thank you. Yes.
And yeah, let's go to the next slide. So in addition to that, so the Home Assistant Cloud is an important part because it provides an easy path for users. So this slide is meant to represent kind of the current paradigm here we have for voice in Home Assistant, and that is that people talk to voice satellites. There are several different kinds that we'll get into as a review later, but these satellites talk to Home Assistant, and then Home Assistant, your server, talks to some voice service somewhere. And Home Assistant Cloud is built in. It's very fast, very flexible, many languages supported. And so that kind of, if you have that, it's very easy. But of course, this is Home Assistant, right? So choice is one of our fundamental values. And so we have local voice services that are supported, things like Whisper for speech to text and Piper for text to speech. As you go down that rabbit hole, if you want better performance, better accuracy, getting things like a graphics card hooked up to make it go vroom vroom very fast is, while more difficult, certainly rewarding if you can get that all set up. And lots of people have awesome setups with beefy hardware that run these local voice services and negate the need for something else in the cloud. So that's kind of the picture of voice as it stands right now. And it's important, if we jump to the next slide, I want to distinguish, though, between different types of clouds. We're going to talk a little bit about AI in this stream, and I think it's important to talk about how these different cloud services know about you and what you're doing. So we've roughly categorized clouds here, or clouds, into two different types, and then, of course, there's a no cloud option. At the very top here, we have something called an IoT cloud. This is our terminology, but this is something that knows who you are and everything you're doing. And this is like a Google Home and Alexa. OpenAI falls into this category too, because you sign up with an account and you give them a key to identify you for every request. You send all the details about your home and if you're doing Home Assistant stuff. And so they know everything. And you pay for this. It used to be just by having them learn for your data, but as Alexa is demonstrating now, they're going to want you to pay money to continue to have them learn from your data, which is great. As we go down the graph, we go up in privacy. We have what's called a generic cloud, and Home Assistant Cloud is one example of this, where people's responses are pooled together and sent anonymously to the service. In our case, it's Azure as the backend. And so the cloud knows what's going on, but it doesn't know who's making the request and can't store data on individual users. So this is better in that it increases privacy, but it's of course it's still in the cloud. So it comes with the downsides of, if the internet goes out, then you have a problem, right? But the revenue here is purely from subscriptions. So there's not learning from your data, which to me is a nice thing. And then lastly, you of course always have the option of going no cloud, fully local, offline. This often requires better hardware than something like a Raspberry Pi 4, but it's available and anyone can do this if they get time, money, and so examples of that would be the Piper and Whisper service that we talked about. So,
yeah, I think it's important to mention that because you will see that we are going to talk about AI, even if it's not like the main subject of the stream. The main subject is voice, but we are going to touch upon AI. And we published a blog post recently about the state of AI and how we are positioning ourselves. And we said in the beginning of the blog post, I think it's even on one of the first paragraphs, that there is no option that are perfect today, because if you want speed, either you have to go IoT cloud, more or less like selling your data to someone, or you need like a very powerful hardware, and actually the tech is not even there. I think that there was a question about the state of the NVIDIA Jetson project. I think we are going to talk about that when we will come to AI in general. But yeah, some of the demos that, all the demos that you will see about AI will be cloud-based, but we all know that we want to reach the local AI state at some point. It's just that today it's complex in terms of tech, in terms of hardware, and not everyone will be able to afford it today. That's kind of the problem.
Yeah, if you're interested, you can follow the Jetson AI Research Lab. There's weekly or biweekly meetings that I'm part of when I can, and the guy who's running that, Dusty Franklin, he's doing an awesome job of getting like high quality AI services running locally. But these Jetson boxes, they start at about $700 and go up to $2,000 or so dollars. So they're not cheap, but if you consider, I don't know, years worth of an OpenAI subscription, maybe it's worth it for that.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the important thing is that we have like a componentized architecture, and everything we do today is going to work with local AI as soon as we have them, more or less.
Yeah.
Like the whole architecture is there to for you to swap components, as you were doing for the last year with voice. If you want to test local text-to-speech generation, you can just try Piper. If you want to test local speech-to-text, you can try Whisper. Tomorrow, if you want to test local AI, that would be the idea, even if today it's a bit more complex. All right, shall we move on?
Mm-hmm.
All right, first subject, micro wake word.
Yeah, great. My specialty here. So just kind of as a reminder from the last chapter, we introduced micro wake word. Could you go to the next one for me? Thank you. It's a wake word detection engine, and it's designed really to run on low-powered devices like the ESP32S3. So the ESP32S3 box has been kind of popular to use it and test it out. Yeah, exactly. JO has one there. The nice thing about this is you can train custom wake words. It's still challenging. I'm making a lot of progress on getting it easier, but it's still challenging. But the way it's done is I make a bunch of text-to-speech samples using Piper, and then it gets trained into the wake words from there. And I really do want to thank David from Open Wake Words workflow he designed. I was able to pick it up and use it in my case and made it a whole lot easier. Kind of another exciting thing to announce in terms of micro wake word, it is now a collaboration partner of the Open Home Foundation. They don't own it, but it really just means at the end of the day, micro wake word will stay open for everyone forever. So everyone will be able to use it.
That's cool. So today, the training of open wake word is easy, and the training of custom wake word on micro wake word is something that is always it's still complex, right? It's not something that I can do if I want easily.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, so it takes several weeks to train a good model. Right now, still, there's a lot of settings to play with and things like that. I've made a lot of good progress still in figuring out, okay, here's some good baseline settings that can speed it up. So we're getting there, but it'll still be a little while before it's easy. I don't know if we'll ever get to the point where you can go to Google Colab, run a script in an hour and have a wake word. I don't know if that'll be possible, but I'd like to get it to be easier in the long run.
And so eventually, I guess that we want to open it, like allowing users to train wake word.
Yes, definitely. I would love for other people to be able to train these.
Okay.
Yeah.
quick, getting a few questions that are basically of the theme of, besides ESP devices, what other devices might micro wake word run on in the future?
The nice thing is it's so it doesn't require a lot of computer resources to run it. Kind of the thing holding it back is you need the TensorFlow Lite runtime, and you need the micro runtime to be able to generate the spectrogram features. So there's nothing really stopping it from moving to other places. It just needs, or on other devices, there just needs to be some basic work to get the TensorFlow Lite interpreter going on there. Yeah.
Cool. So I see a lot of praise for micro wakeboard. Like micro wakeboard is truly magic, which is a nice, I think, leeway to the next slide, which is micro wakeboard V2.
Yeah. So on the last slide, I said, oh, you need an S3, and that's because the ESP32S3 has some vector instructions that make it really fast to do machine learning type stuff. But version 2 of micro wakeword, well, we got it to be fast enough on a regular ESP32. You don't need the S3 anymore. S3 is nice. It can do a lot more wake words at once. It's faster, but we can run multiple models on a regular ESP32. I've also trained a nice new voice activity detection model that can run alongside the wake word models. This will help hopefully reduce some false activations when some random noise happens and it goes off. Well, hopefully the bad model here will take care of it and block it from happening here. These new models will be available in the next ESP home release. Right now, you can run multiple models at the same time. So you can have multiple wake words going at once. They all go to the same pipeline. In the long run, we want to make it so one wake word will start your English pipeline, another wake word will start its Dutch pipeline, and so on. But right now, it's just they all start the same pipeline. So the models are smaller, they're faster, you can run them on ESP32s, but they're more accurate too. That's a nice improvement as well. They should have less false rejections, and it should also have less false acceptances. So you can kind of see on the graph on the right there, version 1 is in blue, the version 2 model here is in orange. Across the board, it's better for these false accept rates per hour. So, if you kind of look at this graph to interpret a little bit, it's a little cryptic. There's a lot of information there. But like on the horizontal axis, you have the 0.25 false acceptances per hour. That's estimating, every 4 hours, you'll get a false activation. And so when you have that, you can expect it to falsely reject you when you actually say the wake word about 3% of the time, less than 3% of the time at that rate. And so across the board, this has gone better. And ideally, we want to keep it down to that, no false accepts per hour, very close to it. And these new models they can achieve that while still not rejecting the actual wake word a whole lot.
Now, when you compute these curves, this is with false accepts per hour with continuous audio being pushed at it?
Yeah, so this particular benchmark is it has a 24-hour audio file. It has background noise mixed in there. There's several hundred wake word samples spread throughout. And then there's also a bunch of English speech just combined in there. And so the false activations will happen in the English speech typically. Maybe sometimes the background noise that's mixed in will trigger it as well. But really, we just want it to trigger when it picks up one of those several hundred wake word samples.
Yeah. So it's not as if sitting in a quiet room, this thing is just going to activate every 4 hours or something like that.
No, so that's actually probably more rigorous than what you'd expect, unless you have conversations playing in front of your speaker all the time. 24 hours a day, you shouldn't be getting that 0.25 false accepts per hour.
And speaking of the false rejects, so currently the models are very heavily focused on English speakers, native English speakers. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that's a big challenge, is to make this work well for people with not American English accents. I've made some progress here, but it's slow. Really, the Piper sample generator works well for English samples that are short. It's a little harder to use this for French or Dutch samples. I think in the long run, though, we're going to try to have an open data collection where people can submit their own samples to help us train these better. And so that way we can just get the data from everyone to make it good. Every accent can be represented, and hopefully we'll get better results overall.
Sweet. Someone was asking about, I've seen this come up several times. Do you think micro wake word would work with other types of sounds besides just human speech?
It's unclear to me if that's the case, because the features that the models look at, there are spectrogram features that are focused on human voice levels mainly. So some higher pitched sounds may not really be represented well. And also the short duration sounds may be problematic. Mm-hmm. I don't know, honestly. I haven't tried. I think we could get some results. I think a fire alarm one would be great to have. That should be loud enough and repeated enough that we could do it eventually. But it's unclear to me. It could work very well. It may work well for certain sounds and not others. Down the road, we'll get to experiment with it, I think.
Yeah, but for now, this is mainly for currently native English speakers and humans. Not so. This is not going to work with your dog, even if your dog speaks decent English. Sorry.
So there is a question about so this one, which I think we went a bit fast on the whole thing. So today, as of today, micro wake word is running on ESP32S3 boards, which are the ones that are on the boxes and other type of projects. For example, the Anju voice, the kits that you can buy to replace your Google Home, is also running an S3 board. Sorry. Tomorrow, the next ESP Home release, it's going to come to the whole range of ESP32 board, including the regular one, which you find in the Atom, and you will be able to run multiple wake word in the same board. What is missing today is the fact that they will all target the same pipeline, meaning that they will basically target the same assistants in Home Assistant. So you will not be able to say, OK, Nabu for Home Assistant and Ask Gemini for Google Gemini. Well, actually, for two reasons. Is because we don't have the wake word Ask Gemini, but even if we had it, we would not be able to have the two pipelines. That's the goal, right? The goal is to have two wake words for two pipelines for many, many different reasons. But the main ones that we always hear about are I want to keep assist for speed, but I want to play with an LLM. So I would like to have like OK Naibu for controlling my home and Jarvis for having some fun. And the other use case that we always hear is multi-language household. So household. So I'm French and my partner is English. Having one wake word that triggers a French pipeline, having one wake word that triggers an English pipeline. So that will be the two things that we will solve with this multiple wake words running on the device and triggering multiple pipelines. Then it's up to you to do whatever you want. So that's the piece that is missing today. Right now, we are just showing the tech more or less. We have micro wake word. It's capable of running two models on every ESP32 boards across the range, even the simplest one, but we don't have like the two pipelines on Home Assistant.
We really can run three models. It requires a little more work on my end in terms of the code. Right now, out of the box, it can do two. Three models is slightly too slow with the current implementation, but there is a way to speed that up. So I'm hoping to work on that and get that merged in as well. So three models can run on a single ESP32.
And how can people contribute if they want to contribute to the development of micro wake word?
For now, I think just let me know what's working and what isn't. Get on Discord. The ESP Home channel has a nice machine learning channel. And it's good to hear like, oh, this is always triggering in this instance, or this noise is causing problems. If it's not working super well, knowing what your accent is, if you even speak English, if you have an accent in that way, or if you're trying to use, you speak primarily another language, that's useful feedback to kind of help figure out where the pain points lie, and hopefully I can correct that. One thing I did get a lot of feedback on was if there was audio playing, or in particular speech playing, you're listening to the radio or something, and micro wake word would basically never trigger, even if it was trying to hear the wake word over when other speech is going on. These newer models have been training, so if there's speech going on at the same time. As long as you're speaking louder, it should hopefully pick it up. So that was kind of some good feedback that I've actually been able to make actions on, and hopefully I can take more feedback and keep making it better for everyone.
Awesome.
Shall we see a demo? It's been
I think
a few minutes we are talking.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a second. I'm just removing the slides. You want to do it live?
Yeah, let's do it live.
All right. Wait, so where is your second camera? It's here. I'm just going to put it big. All right.
All right, so this is an Atom Echo. This is kind of popular because that was kind of the first device we really advertised. Hey, it's great for a voice assistant. This runs a regular ESP32 chip, so it's not the faster S3 one, and it has no external memory either, yet we're still able to do this. So, hey, Mycroft, turn on the lamp.
Turned on the light.
Okay, Nabu, make the lamp red.
Color set.
Hey, Mycroft, turn the lamp off.
Turned off the light.
So we got two different wake words running at the same time. Both will activate. Whichever one you say should hopefully activate. This is also running one of those voice activity detection models as well at the same time. That I can get 3 going in the current implementation. So that should hopefully help reduce the false activation, like I mentioned before. But the nice thing about this is no audio is being sent to the server until it hears the wake word. Like when it turned blue there and I said the command, that's the only thing being sent to the server, the Home Assistant server. Compared to like Open Wake Word or some of the other implementations we have, that requires basically sending all the audio all the time to get triggered. So it's nice to keep kind of the CPU load on the server down because it doesn't have to process all of that, and also just less network traffic, a lot of advantages. And speed, it goes faster, yeah.
We have one common sentiment in the chat, which is it's freaking fast. So maybe like I have a few questions for you actually. Before we talk about microwave world, like the fast part of this, what's your pipeline? Are you using Home Assistant Cloud for the voice? For
I'm doing both text to speech and speech to text using the Home Assistant Cloud. Okay. Yeah. So I have in the past set up Whisper. I was able to run the medium model on my graphics card. It's an older one, but it works. It still takes about a second to process it. I could go to a smaller model and be faster, but you know, the cloud one is fractions of a second.
Okay, and so the microwave word part, this is faster, right? That's what you explained. So what we saw is faster than what we are used to in the S3 box, because that's the only place where we can experience microwave word today.
Yeah, so yeah, until the wake word is said, that's all micro wake word listening. Once the wake word is said, it starts sending it to Home Assistant, which sends it, in my case, to the Nabu Casa Cloud to do the speech to text. Yeah.
It's crazy when you think about it, everything that's happening in this very small demo.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm thrilled that this is working so well, because I was getting to the point where I could make models fast enough to run on the ESP32, but it wasn't more accurate, and I kind of had a breakthrough in the last month or so to make that happen. And it also makes the memory use less. That's also an issue, is if you don't have external memory, it's hard to fit it all in there. The models are small enough that they can run on the regular ESP32. You might have to disable the Bluetooth improv on the Echo, because that's taking up a little more memory than
but once
I need it in some. Yeah.
Once you've set up the Wi-Fi, though, you don't really need the Bluetooth improv.
Correct. And also, if you can still run the improv serial, so if you plug it into your computer, you can still connect it just fine.
Improv Bluetooth is something that we are using to commission device over Bluetooth, so you don't have to plug the device. So this device at some point was able to sold with the voice assistant firmware on it, and if you had a Home Assistant with a Bluetooth adapter, you were able to plug it to power, not to everything, but plug it to power. It was discovered via Bluetooth, and you were able to just say like, that's my Wi-Fi credential, and then it was discovered by ESP Home. It was like wireless commissioning. I mean, commissioning without having to plug it to the computer, flashing the firmware, etc. So that is what Kevin is talking about. This is what we may lose with it, but yeah, you just need to flash it via cable, more or less. That's it.
So you mentioned a breakthrough in the last month. You're able to. What changed?
Yeah.
So what was happening in the original microwave models is it basically processed spectrogram features like how loud is this frequency of noise over a 20 millisecond window, which is kind of long in the grand scheme of things of wake words. So I moved it down to a 10 millisecond window and increased the stride length at the start. So it only has to process every 3 times, or every 3. So basically every 30 milliseconds it runs the processing, but has the resolution of down to 10 milliseconds. And that's what let me get the accuracy kind of doubled, if not tripled in some cases. Yeah.
Okay. And how did you have the time to spend to work on this?
Well,
Yes.
Casa hired me, so now I can do this full time. That's the exciting part. Yeah, I just started last week full time, so I can keep working on micro wake word. That's going to be my initial focus, along with kind of improving the voice experience on ESP Home.
Yes. So yes, welcome, Kevin, to Nabugasa.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great. Okay, that was so cool. The last slide was micro wake word demo, which we did. That's super cool. Timers. That's a nice transition. Shall we talk about it before, or shall we do demos before?
Demos. Everyone knows what timers are.
Do you want to start, or should I start?
You go for it, Jaleb. I'll do it next.
Okay, I'm going to be lazy for timers because the S3 box is has a bit of a weird a weak speaker. So I'm going to display a demo for the first one, so I know it works. Then I will do like a live demo. Demo. I see a lot of demos. Demos.
Hey Nabu, set a timer for 20 seconds.
Timer started.
That's awkward. What are we doing for the 10 next seconds?
We're talking about the 10 seconds is what we're doing. I forgot about the face.
Yes, it's surprised.
The face looks awesome. That's the real next level stuff.
All right. Okay. Let's talk about it. Shall we talk quickly about what it is not, or do you want to do the demos on the Wyoming satellite?
I'll just do the demo, and then we can talk about.
Let's go. Demo.
Yeah. So if you could bring up my screen, I'll.
Yes. Of course. Demo.
Okay. I mean, people can imagine in their heads, I guess, if they wanted. But so this is a Raspberry Pi 4 running the Pi OS with the graphical interface. I have a web browser open, and it's got a re-speaker attached to it and a speaker, and then a cheesy little web interface that I built specifically for this for timers. So it's a bit noisy in the background. I'll see if I can. I'm trying to reduce the amount of noise because I got fans running in AC. It's a bit hot here in the corn state of Iowa.
Cool.
So let's see. Okay, Nabu. Set a timer for 5 minutes.
Timer started.
Okay, so something important. I am doing this fully local. So this is happening on my my Home Assistant box, which has an i5 from like 13 years ago. It's running the base quantized model with a beam width of 5. So it's about how many candidates it consider it's doing its stuff. So you'll see the delay here, and then I'm going to switch to Home Assistant Cloud so you can see kind of the difference.
All right.
Let's see. Where's my notes? There we go. Okay, Nabu. Okay, Nabu. Set a timer for pizza named. Oh, whoops. Hold on. That's good. Let's try again. Okay, Nabu. Yeah. Okay, Nabu. Set a timer named pizza for 20 minutes.
Sorry, I don't understand that.
See, this is a problem with the local. I have a real hard time getting it to go. Let's try one more time, and then I might just switch. Okay, Nabu. Set a timer named pizza for 20 minutes.
Timer started.
Okay, got it. That's
Yay!
All right, so you can have multiple timers. You can have an optional name. You can also add time to it. So, okay, Nabu, add 5 minutes to pizza timer.
Timer updated.
All right, so you can add remove time. You can pause and resume. Let's see if it'll work. Okay, Nabu, pause pizza timer.
Timer paused.
And what's nice is if you have only one pause, you don't have to specify again. Okay, Nabu, resume the timer.
Timer resumed.
All right, you can ask about the timers. Okay, Nabu, how much time is left on the pizza timer?
24 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Approximate. And of course, you can cancel, and then we can see one ring here. Okay, Nabu, remove 5 minutes from 5-minute timer.
Timer updated.
All right, so I set that. I have to actually touch it.
That was a brutal way of making it ring, but I like it.
It just beep, 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 beep. Okay, so let me. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again, but that was with the whisper and piper. So let me switch over, and you can see how it behaves now.
All right.
Okay, Nabu, add 1 hour to pizza timer.
Timer updated.
Okay, Nabu, pause timer.
Timer paused.
Okay, Nabu. Okay, Nabu, cancel timer.
Timer canceled.
All right, so you can see quite a bit of a speed difference with that. Now, I have the hardware to run Whisper like with much better graphics card, but the power draw of running it 24/7 right now isn't worth the change, the increase in accuracy for me.
That's so cool. All right. So many things to unpack.
Yes. We got slides.
Yes, we have slides. Actually, sorry, one last. Okay, no, I will do it. We'll do it afterwards. I need to talk about the Atom M5, but we can do it afterwards. Yeah. So this is the V1 of the timer implementation.
Mhm.
There are things that are missing, which we will tell you what they are. But for the V1, we have multiple timers. You can name them or not. You can pause and resume them. You can add or remove time. If you have multiple timers, you can disambiguate by duration. So you can target the 5-minute timer, the 1 hour timer. You can disambiguate by name. You can target the pizza timer, the whatever timer, or by area, which means that if you have a voice assistant in the kitchen and you say set a 5-minute timer, and you go somewhere else in your house and you don't remember its name, you don't remember its duration, you can just say like cancel the kitchen timer.
Yes. And the satellite itself, the area and floor that it's on can be used to disambiguate. So if two people set timers on, say, different rooms in the house, and you say, cancel my timer downstairs, it will cancel the one down there and not mess with the other person's.
Yeah. So all of this is available for ESP-OM in Wyoming. All of this. So you can have multiple timers on ESP-OM. You can have multiple timers on Wyoming. Wyoming by default is it's just a speaker. So what Mike presented is a small project that is on the Wyoming repository. So you can build the same thing. If you just run Wyoming as a pure voice satellite, you won't have the nice display, but I can set 15 timers if I want on my Wyoming satellite. For the box, the screen is a bit smaller. So the first iteration of the firmware that we are providing on the box, you can set as many timers as you want, but the whole UI that you saw, the timeline on the bottom and the big widgets on the idle screen is just for the first one to ring. So if you set 2 timers, you will see like the next one to ring, then it will ring, and then you will see the one afterwards, more or less.
So important question here.
That's maybe one of the limitations actually today. That's the V1.
Yeah, so V1, these timers are kind of internal to the intent system, to voice itself, and so they're not visible or controllable as entities just through voice commands.
Yeah.
And this was because we wanted timers in there, but we still want to think about how this might work with entities, because these are transient entities, right? They come and go.
Yeah.
And it gets really confusing if you were to even pre-assign entities, like, because you can have 10 timers on a device at one time, and then maybe it shrinks down to 1 or 0. And so we need to give that some more thought before we expose this to the rest of Home Assistant and continue to support that in the future.
So today they are short-lived and they are sorry, they are living on Home Assistant, but they are completely hidden. They are basically just there for voice. Give me a sec. I want to show a few things with my secondary camera. All right. So let me just go back to a few things. So on the box, okay, on the box. As of today, if you go to Ready-Made Project, actually, let's start by that. If you go to Ready-Made Project, which is a website that you find on ESP Home, so if you go to ESP Home today, and you scroll there is a link called Install Ready-Made Project. And this is the framework that we are giving you as a base to start, because ESP Home is mostly, I mean, it's there to customize everything you want. You can create whatever you want with ESP Home, which is the very funny part. Some people, they don't want that. They just want to buy something and it works. And this is the Ready-Made Project part of it. If you choose voice assistant, we support 2 of them. The 2 of them will receive timers starting right now. I will show you the 2 ways of interacting with the device, because we are providing the firmware. The Atom M5 stack, which again, just to make a small link to the last part, today is not running micro wake word, but next release will run micro wake word, even multiple wake word on this small thing. This is $13, a bit hard to find. And the box has many variations. There is only one of them that is still on sale today, but all of them we support because they almost all have the same internals with very confusing namings. The OG one is called the S3, the box. I'm calling it the box. And then we have the box 3, which is a bit nice with nice dock. And the box Lite, which I don't have, but Kevin has. It's just a box, with 3 buttons on the side. And so you connect that, you flash the firmware, and you will get timers. So how do they look? So let's start by the box. On the box, that's the box. That's the box unmuted. Give me a sec. Come on, I just need to unmute my box. Yes. Okay, so that's the box unmuted. So you can set timers by voice. There will be a timeline on the bottom that will show the time remaining for the timer, and a big widget on the idle screen to show you the time that is remaining. Do I have everything ready for a small demo? Yes. Okay, Nabu. Okay, Nabu. Set a timer for 30 seconds. So the timeline on the bottom, that's basically flow, like flows red. If I pause, it's going to flow blue. It's going to stop blue, but I'm not going to do it because for now. And then you have the big widget that stays there. Even if you mute the box, all of this stays there because you still have a timer. Once it rings, you will have a sound coming through the box, and you will have to press a button to stop the box. I'm not sure you hear the beep because I'm very far away from the microphone.
I can hear.
But yeah, so basically there is like a small like indication, and you just press that button, and it stops. So that's the firmware on the S3 box. The S3 box has been known to be customizable, so we usually allow users to adopt and customize it. You can change a lot of things. This is the S3 box 3, which is customized to displaying something nice. If I can find the mute switch, yes. So like this is like a Android style that I'm calling Jarvis. Even if I think today it's still okay Nabu, but it's going to be the same thing more or less. And what we are bringing for the customization aspect is just one more illustration, which is the illustration when the box rings. So you can just have one more illustration when the box rings. Okay, Nabu, set a timer for 12 seconds. So same thing, you have the small timeline. Maybe I can put it bigger, this one. The widget. And then once it rings, you have like anything you want. So that's my illustration, sorry. And you press the button and it stops. Sorry, why am I big? All right. So that was the box. We tried to use the touchscreen actually. It was funny. Up until yesterday, the firmware was you were able to cancel the timer by clicking the touchscreen. We have some issues. I think it's going to come soon. So for now, it's a button, but
And like on this thing, right?
yeah. So yes, on this thing, I saw one very small comment. Voice command to stop it. No, today like it's very complex to handle the mix between the speaker and the microphone. So as of today, right now, it's either one or the other. So when the sound is when the box is ringing, the microphone is stopped. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is right now.
That's something that I think will always be a limitation on the Atom Echo. It's something that we'll eventually get around on the S3, but it's something for the future that we will be doing, that we can have recording and playback at the same time. But right now, some action. It would be nice to expose. There's a switch, I think, in the firmware, right, that could be exposed if someone wanted to.
Yeah. So to be discussed, because since timers are coming to Home Assistant, I didn't want it to expose things temporarily, but yes.
Yeah.
Time limit for ringing, it's 15 minutes. But like, so if you don't do anything for 15 minutes, then it stops. It's just like I just wanted to avoid people leaving the house and just coming back hours later and having a timer that rings. So 15 minutes, then it stops. Are the config available for the box on GitHub? Better, they are the official firmware, so they are available on the official firmware of ESP-Home.
Yeah, the ESP-Home firmware.
Yeah, actually, I think that even on the ready-made project, even if it's not the goal, I think that exactly for advanced user, the ML configuration is on GitHub. You go to GitHub. So firmware, Wakeword voice assistant. You will have the board and the Atom Echo. You will be able to see a bit how. Sorry, the Atom Echo is pointing to another one. My bad. So the Atom Echo is on the voice assistant part. So this is the firmware, and on the timer part, you will be able to see a bit the timer part. I think I may come back to the timer part afterwards if I have enough people that wants to see a bit how it works for your own project on ESP-Home. But yeah,
but that's a good point that we didn't mention, that this on the ESP-Home firmware, there's exposed triggers that you can catch.
Okay. Yeah, so we can maybe make a small point. That is more like for the ESP-Home builders, the one that are already have something like, I don't know, I have AL 9000 just there or something like this. If you don't do anything, timers are not supported, because you just need to tell the device how you plan to handle the end of the timer. So if you are an ESP-Home builder, then you may be familiar with the ESP-Home website, which I'm just looking for. Give me a sec. And in the ESP-Home website, you go to voice assistant as always. You are familiar with all of the triggers that the component is providing. You will have new triggers for timers. You need to implement one of them, any of them, and the timers will be supported. Things you want to do when the timer starts, things you want to do when the timer finish, cancelled, and updated, and tick, which is every second. So for example, on the box, all of them are drawing the timeline, for example, and then when the timer finished, I'm playing the sound, the illustration, blah, 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 blah. On the Atom Echo, which I'm going to demonstrate now, it's the simplest firmware. I'm not doing anything when anything happens except when it's finished, because the only way of communicating with this thing is a LED. So I'm not doing anything when it starts, when it's cancelled, updated, or even when it ticks. Just when it's finished, I'm doing something. So let's demo it. So again, this is available as of today. You go to ready-made project, you flash your Atom Echo, you will have this. I need to unmute it. All right, so again, like the only thing that we can do, actually, let me just start with the second camera, because it has a bit of a better resolution for this kind of small thing. Okay, so again, like we have just one thing. So white means Wakeword is active and is ready to listen. Blue means processing the commands, and now we have green for the timer, so it looks like this. One sec, I have a box that is also not muted. I just need to mute the box. Otherwise,
so many voice assistants.
Yes. Okay, Nabu, set a timer for 5 seconds. So that was what was before, and what's new is this. Why is it red? Why is it not? I like demos.
Well,
Give me
it
one
was-
second.
For a second.
I don't know what happened. Okay, Nabo, set a timer for 5 seconds. Yeah, so that's what's supposed to happen, and that should have happened if I was good at writing firmware, but I'm not. And so same thing, it's rinse for 15 minutes. You just press the button. That's the only thing you can do anyway. So you press the button and it stops.
So I
Why
think
am I-
it's important for people to understand how Home Assistant considers a device as supporting timers.
Yes, that's yeah.
So right now you can only set timers on a device that supports them, and we did that on purpose so that you wouldn't accidentally set timers on some device that had no means of communicating the timer back to you. You could manage timers from any device, including the web UI. You can say, pause pizza timer or whatever. But basically, in ESP Home, if you register one of these timer triggers, then that device is considered to support timers. All Wyoming satellites right now are considered to support timers.
And so, just to answer maybe questions that will come, the chat box on the web does not ring, so does not support timer. The phone does not support timer. I thought about it for a long time, actually. Should we support timers on that? But the thing is, you have much better on the phone to support timer. Like, you can just set a timer on the phone. So for now, they don't support timers. And that's it. Sorry, and sorry, Paulus, I know that you love that, but the phone, the VoIP doesn't support timer, even if Paulus really wants the phone to be able to ring back.
We actually have a bounty out there for that.
Yes,
Paulus has a bounty over IP.
Yes. And I think that's about it. So let me just go back to the slide for the timers.
That's it for timers. We still got plenty more, folks. Stay tuned.
Yes. So yes, available now on ESP-HOME and Wyoming satellites. It's a bit of a we are cheating because it's available on ESP-HOME if you implement one of the trigger. It's available on the Atom Echo and the S3 box as of today. The firmware has been provided. And you can set multiple timers with name, pause, resume, add, remove time, and you can target them by anything you want. By the way, something interesting, if you have only one timer, you don't need to target them. So you can say cancel timer, add 5 minutes to timer. Mike actually demoed that. So
yeah. Oh, and I mean, language support, I should say, varies. So English has all of this implemented. French has most of it.
French has like 50 ways of creating a timer, so we went over.
French has all of it. But other languages may have support that comes later. I think I saw Russian come through this morning before I bumped the intent. So hopefully, you may need to be using the beta to get support for your language. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Something interesting that I will use for the next part, which is like the AI part, but it's always the same thing. We create the intent, which is like the functionality with Home Assistant, etc. So we have the timer's intent. Then we ask the language leaders to create sentences so that you can trigger these intents. Yep. Remember that, because when we talk about AI, we will basically bypass that part, which is kind of the goal. But today, this depends on the intent, they are there, and the sentence in your own language.
All right. So so as of today, then, this is an updated graphic from Chapter 6. Now across the board here on these 2 ESP-based satellites and on the Wyoming satellites, we now have on-device wake word, and we have timers, which I would say 2 of the most requested features that people have been asking for, and now we're there. So I mean, and we're not even halfway through the decade of voice. I think we're doing pretty good.
As of today, I mean, on-device wake word coming soon for the Atom Echo. But
yes, fair enough. As of
it'll be the next ESP Home release.
Yeah. As of the next.
When is it actually? So this week is beta week. Next week is the Home Assistant one. So in 3 weeks, I think.
Okay.
Because it's supposed to be 2 weeks after the. That's cool. Nice.
And so, feature-wise, there was a poll a few months ago on the Home Assistant forums where people were saying what they expected from a voice assistant. These are the top 8. Below this, I think it was things like answering math questions or general questions, which I would put more on the AI side of things. So I think we're doing pretty good here overall. We're making our way through these top requests. The last two, setting alarms and adding events to calendars, I think should be somewhat easy. Alarms are a little complicated, more complicated than timers because you want to keep them, and there's a lot more ways to specify how you might set an alarm than a timer. Streaming music is an interesting one. We're going to talk a little bit about media control, but while you have the ability right now, you can initiate a stream from a voice assistant. So you can say play something on the Sonos speakers.
I mean,
well, you could.
I mean, there are ways. One of them is music assistant.
Yes.
I will demo that when we go to the AI part, but music assistant has intents that are built for that. And when you pair them with AI, you don't need to actually. There is a way to pair them without AI. Sorry. There is a way to pair them with Assist without LLM-based agents. It's still based on AI, but it's cheaper. Sorry for the mouthful.
Yes.
But you have a way to initiate stream of music. So you're able to talk to an assistant and say, play some Pink Floyd, and the sound comes from another device, your Sonos speaker or your speaker or your TV. Yeah.
But right now there is no ability to stream music like on a voice assistant. Not that you would want to play music out of this thing right now, but for future devices, I think that will be something we want to be able to do.
Mm.
All right, so that's where we're at with the top requested features.
That's cool. Wait, I'm trying to figure out what is the next part. Yes, so timers, when you think about them, this is just ringing something in the future. What else can we do in the future?
Well, anything.
Anything, yes.
So
that was a weird transition, but it worked.
This was kind of a cool little. I guess we could do that too.
Yeah.
So this let's bump to the next slide. I'm calling these delayed commands in beta.
Actually, it's a demo. Should we do the demo directly?
Oh yeah, why don't you show the demo? Let's just show it.
Yeah.
And I'll
So again, like as I said, timers are just things you ring in the future. So if I just give me a sec. All right, so I'm going to ask you to focus on two things. One of them is the screen. The other one is, that's not the correct screen. Where is the screen? The screen. The other one is the bunny that is there behind me. I can turn on the bunny. I'm usually making a lot of typos when I write, so okay, turn on the bunny. Yeah, okay, and I can turn off the bunny. So this is a command, and now I can do any command I want in any time I want. So turn on the bunny in 5 seconds. Ta-da! I'm sorry. Ta-da! Doesn't work? Yes. And so you can do whatever you want. And so just to have a nice transition with the limitation, I'm just going to do something funny. Turn on the bunny in 30 minutes. Oh, sorry. That's me. 30 minutes. All right, let's go back to the slide then. It's going to be funny.
Okay. So these are in beta because we're still not fully finished on the design, but I think as an initial start, this is good. So basically, you can run any assist command with a delay, and the downside, of course, it doesn't actually try to parse that assist command until the timer actually comes up. So if you make a mistake or something, it's not going to notice right now. That is a feature we'd like to have. These are also not visible like the other timers, where like you can't cancel these commands. They're kind of in a separate system. But this is something you can also initiate from the web UI. So you can, as JLo showed, you can just go in there and I like to use this, basically tell the kids, all right, I'll turn off the TV in 30 minutes and Home Assistant will do it for me. That way I don't have to be in the room with the timer to hear the drone.
Oh, yeah. It's in beta for two reasons. It's because I think that the main use case of delayed command is because you will not be there when you want to do something, meaning that it could be critical, like for example, turn off the music in 30 minutes because I will be sleeping, or these things. And today this is the second main red box is that it's not verified, meaning that if I do this, nothing is going to happen in 5 hours because I made a typo. But the thing is, I don't know, and we don't know because we don't parse it for now. So this is just beta v1 more or less. Also, I cannot cancel it. So yes,
can.
exactly. I can restart Home Assistant. Yeah. So in fact, mute the bunny will turn on, and I have no way to stop that, which is it's the way it is for now. We are just putting it out there so that you can experiment with it.
So and these kinds of complex commands are
Yeah.
not supported. This is simply, after some period of time.
It is actually when you think about it, it is interesting to. I had this discussion when I was thinking about reminders. Reminders are nice, but we are a smart home platform. I would really like to have reminders when something else happens. Remind me to cook. Remind me to do the laundry when I come home. For example, that would be nice, so that I can do it on my phone. Remind me to do the laundry when I come home. This is really like a unique value of Home Assistant because we know when you are home, everything is local. You come home, speakers do the laundry. That would be amazing. But we are basically bleeding into automations. Like that's really an automation. We have a trigger and we do something on a trigger.
Yeah, these are. I mean, you could think of these as kind of like transient automations,
Yeah,
right?
one
they're
time automation.
once. And I mean, I'd like to expand a little bit on these. I like this idea. You currently can't do this. You can't say at 9 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah.
You could if you calculated the time, which is silly because you have a computer. It should do it for you. But I'd like to expand it to at least do these kinds of things.
Yeah. So for me, like that, I know it's not exactly the definition, but in an amount of time, I consider that these are timers. At specific time, I consider that these are more reminders. So remind me to do something at 9 a.m. And so we don't have reminders today, but that would be nice. Actually, there is a way to cheat and to do reminders today, but it's a bit weird. But maybe we will demo it afterwards. That's it. it's not a right way. And so this is available everywhere. So even if they are really the same thing than timers, this is available everywhere because nothing rings, right? So it's available on the web UI, on the phone, everywhere today. Should we go to the next one?
Yes.
Media control. So this one, I think we will go a bit fast because we fully demoed it during the last release party.
Mm-hmm.
I think that some people were not there, of course, so we are going to demo it again. But we released, since the last chapter, so since chapter 6, we released some very nice intent to control media playback. I think it's important, media playback. So we are not allowing you out of the box. There is Music Assistant for that. I think I will make a demo when we will go into the AI part. There is a way to say play some Pink Floyd. This is not something that we allow out of the box. What we allow out of the box is pausing, media control, resuming the playback. So basically your play pause button on a remote. Volume up, volume down. Sorry, setting the volume to a specific percentage. And next, which is going to the next thing, which is usually a song or an episode on your TV show if you have something like this. This was there for a long time. What we did during the last release was a very nice layer of logic on top of that allows you to target areas without specifying the type of media player that you have that you want to target. So the problem or the challenge, because it's not really a problem, is the fact that media players are very wide. Like a TV is a media player, speakers are media players, etc. So in a room, especially a living room, I would say, you may have multiple media players, like a TV and speakers, for example. And so with Mike, we sat down and we were like, okay, I really want to be able to walk in a room and say next or like pause. But we have to understand a bit which one we have to pause and which one we have to resume. So that's what we are doing now. So you can basically target a room. And there is something that we released now, I think a long time ago, maybe chapter 5, which is called area awareness, which is when you have a device that is in an area and you want to target device in the area. Sorry, you want to target said area, you don't need to say it. And these two things allow us to provide very simple sentences such as pause, resume, next. You basically walk in a room, you say pause, and we are pausing the thing that is playing. If you walk in a room and you say resume, we are going to resume the last one that was playing, which is very smart because you can basically, you are in front of the TV, you can say pause, we pause the TV, go to the toilet, you come back, you say resume, and we resume the TV, but not the speakers, even if the two of them are paused. You can increase volume and you can do next. I have a very small demo for that with royalty-free music.
Okay, Nabu. Resume.
Oh, sorry, I have a
No, it triggered your other.
Yes.
Okay, Nabu. Next.
Playing next.
Okay, Nabu. Set the volume to 50%.
Volume set.
Simple, right? I would say.
And so the smart resume, I think, is probably the more interesting part of all this. The others are, look at the media players in the current area. What state are they in? If I can't find one, try to, go up to the floor, then up to the entire house kind of deal. But the smart resume tracks which media players were paused most recently, especially by voice, although it can handle the ones that you do manually, and it only will resume those. And this is to avoid the problem JLo mentioned, where you might have, Sonos speakers or something that's not ever stopped. It's just sitting in a pause state, and you don't want it to come into a room and say resume and have all the media players start playing at once.
Yeah, I think like the most common use case I would say would be living room. You're in front of the TV and you have speakers that are in a paused state. Sonos is always like this, and so your speakers are paused, your TV is playing. You say pause. That's simple. We just pause what is playing. Now both of them are paused, so you come back and you say resume. We are going to resume the TV because the TV was paused since like 2 minutes, whereas the speakers were paused for like, I don't know, 2 weeks. So this is what we do. More or less is supposed to be natural. We are trying to target the one that makes sense. Same thing when you if you enter a room and you say like set volume to 50%, we are going to target the one that are actually making noise right now, so the one that are playing.
And some missing things, are setting the volume to a relative, so louder by 10%. We need that. In the beta is a previous intent too, so you can say go back to the last item. I don't know if we're going to have full queue management. I'm not sure how often people actually do that by voice, but I would love to hear feedback, from folks, especially if they find the smart resume not to be so smart. I would like to hear it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, if I look at the 4 commands we have, which are pause, resume, next, and set volume, I think the one that could be improved is the set volume, because you have to say a percentage, and it's very complex to know because depending on the brand of speaker, etc., you don't know where you are. So my living room speaker, when I listen to music, it's like 70% more or less. That's like because they are, but the Sonos that I have in my office is like 30%. So I cannot enter a room and say like set the volume to. I would like having a louder or
Softer.
quieter, softer intent. That would be nice. I would love that. Does Media Control currently work with Android TV device? So they work with the media player domain. So if your TV is a media player in Home Assistant, you expose it. Now that I think about it, I can show you how to expose something, even if it's exposing means that you control what Assist has access to. So this is I don't know, that's a light. You go to the light, you go to the settings, you go to voice assistants, and you expose it to Assist, and that's it. Now you can do next, pause, set volume, and resume on your TV.
And it does also depend on the supported features of the media player. So I found this Kodi, for example, that the Kodi media player didn't support some features, like I couldn't pause it or something, at least on the versions I'm on for some reason.
Okay.
Which seems silly. But so there are media players that may not support pausing or setting volume. and so there's really nothing we can do in that case.
Yeah.
But most of them do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Someone asked about if they could use smart resume from automations. Yes, you can. If you can run you could run resume, like the voice command, actually through the process service from the conversation integration.
That's
So-
actually, I think it's actually interesting. Should we show it?
Yeah, sure.
I think it's interesting.
I think some people may not realize that you can any of these voice commands, you can use the text and just use it directly in an automation. People usually
Yeah.
don't because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can get at it other ways. But
So if you want to use the smart resume, you create an automation, and in your automation, you add a block that is called conversation.process. And in the conversation.process, you actually just write resume. The agent is Home Assistant. For me, I think that I need to say that language is English because I'm not. Wait, my system is in English right now, so maybe that would work.
should work.
Sorry, in the office, and that's it, I think. And you just run that. I'm not going to run it because I think I have music that is queued in the.
Now that is an important distinction, though, that you need to specify the area here, because there's the home assistant server itself doesn't have an area.
Yeah, but you can do that, yeah, if you want.
And again, this works for any of the voice commands. You can put them in here. And
Yes, actually, like the conversation process is a very nice way to have AI do things for you, because you can create agents that are very specific roles and jobs, and you can ask them to do things in your automation. Fetch the result, because here you have the result there,
Yep, you
and
can get
use it
the
for
response.
something else. I'm just going to check if I have music playing in the bedroom. No, because it was off, so nothing is playing in the bedroom. Okay.
All right. So that's
I think that's it, yeah.
Mhm.
All right,
All right.
Should we go to the next one?
Next one, yeah.
Oh, I forgot that one.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Do you have the web? Or I mean, you already showed the website. This is for the ready-made projects. So this was a recent update to ESP Home. Maybe Kevin, you could talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, so if you have one of the ready-made projects, like the voice assistant, if you wanted to update it, you really needed to have like in your ESP Home dashboard. But if you just want to not have the ESP Home dashboard, not customize it more, then we'll now be able to update just through the Home Assistant update thing. You don't need to involve the ESP Home dashboard to update the ready-made projects. So ESP Home's latest release kind of built in the support for this.
And that's important for voice assistants because like almost all our voice assistants are ready-made projects. And so this means that updates, entities are coming to you in the next ESP Home release without you going to the other side of the ESP Home world, more or less. That's the thing. Like, the ESP Home is kind of like two things into one. For a very long time, it was only like the building part. You were installing. Maybe I can just show you what I'm talking about, even if you were installing an add-on that was looking like this. If you saw that page, you are what I'm considering a ESP Home builder. You are building your own firmware, and you were creating some things, some code. That's the code of my voice assistant, the one that are there. And if you wanted to update them, this is how you were able to update them. And for this kind of small projects, the one that are ready-made, you needed to adopt them. Actually, this is nice because the boxes that I'm using for test are popping them as adopting. So this is the thing. You are adopting them. We were creating a very small firmware that looked like this, which was a firmware that was just pointing to the firmware where the firmware is. And that's it, more or less. And now you were able to update. But there were so many barriers to updating because you needed to download an add-on that you are not really using because you are not building, you're just using ESP Home device, just so that you are able to get updates. All of this is allowing you to get this more or less. If you go to your integration and to ESP-HOME, you would get a update entity, right? That was the old world, but now today for some ESP-HOME projects, for example, the ready-made one, but anyone that is building with ESP-HOME, there is a way to provide OT updates. We will push OT updates to you, and so they will be updatable like anything else. More or less. We just receive an update, and this is why we are doing it actually. No, sorry, no, my bad.
Well, I was going to see if Kevin would answer this one.
Yes. So yes, if you're changing the wake word from Okinawa to HRs, that will require a recompile. In the old way, though, if you just wanted to update the built-in firmware, keep the same wake word, to compile it, you need a pretty good computer because you're building all of that TensorFlow light runtime stuff. And so if you had like a Home Assistant Green, you'd run out of memory to recompile like the firmware for your S3 box. So this way we can update it, give you the newest features without having to have, void the dashboard, but also you don't need to have a large computer to be able to recompile the voice assistant and the micro wake word runtime stuff. Yeah.
So,
but changing wake words right now, yeah, you still need to recompile it. I've added it to my to-do list of like, can we load multiple, since I'm building support for multiple models, can we turn on one or turn off one? And so hopefully down the road, we can make that happen where more are built in and it's just a drop-down selection. That
so
functionality doesn't exist yet, but I'm getting close to it, especially with having these multiple models.
So you mean like, just for me to understand, maybe we need more storage for that, but having like a firmware where we technically load 10 wake word, but we just activate 2 of them. And so then when we have this, it's really just pick and choose more or less.
That's I think, the goal basically. And these models are small. I mean, they're very small now. So like the S3 box I couldn't create enough models to fill up the storage space on there. We're talking kilobytes total space. So, and this is flash space. This isn't memory because they won't be loaded into memory until you activate them.
That's nice. Okay, cool.
So
when is it coming? In 3 weeks. Next ESP-HOME update.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Does that mean that if I am just a ESP-HOME user, so I just bought that, flashed once, and it works, this means that I'm going to receive updates without doing anything, more or less?
Yep, that's the goal.
That's cool. Yeah. Perfect. Last part, AI. I don't even know how to approach this thing. I think it's going to be like a mess of a demo, etc. But let's talk about AI. Maybe we should start just by a bit of a context for everyone. So we every demo that we showed up until the beginning is using a conversation agent, which is the brain, the one that understands the intent, that is based on a strict number of sentences that our language leader are basically curating for you. So if you are English, then you have like a set of English sentences. You target one of them, it does something. So if you say next, there is a big tree of sentences, and we say, next is the next intent. So we are going to do what you ask, which is going to the next sound. And the last release party of Home Assistant, we presented for like 1 hour, which we are not going to do now. We are just going to show you a bit what's changed up until the last one, but I still need to make a small presentation about what it is. We showed you how to swap conversation agents for a conversation agent that was based on AI, large language model. And that would allow you to have much more natural way of talking to your house. This is I'm trying not to lose myself. Mike, you tell me if I'm if I'm derailing too much. But
okay.
At the end of the day, like whether you choose Assist or a LLM-based agents, the assistant will have the same capabilities. So it's based on the intent, meaning that if you can do something with the assist way of talking to your voice assistant, you can do it in the AI world. So the AI world can turn on your light, close your shades, but cannot create an automation for you. That's more or less like if it can be done on assist, it can be done on the AI part. More on that later, because we are going to present a new way of extending that. And you also expose the same data. So if you expose the light, the AI has access to it. If you do not expose the light, the AI doesn't have access to it.
And you'll see,
that's kind of like
why during some demos why you want to be very careful what you expose.
Yeah. So before like going to the crazy demo, actually, let's go to the crazy demo, and then after I will explain.
Jarvis, I'm currently working, but I don't see well. Can you help me with visibility?
I've turned on the lights in your workspace. This should help with visibility while you work.
Jarvis, it's better, but my back hurts a bit. Can you help me stretch my legs?
I've raised the standing desk for you. This should help you stretch your legs and ease some of the back pain.
Jarvis, I'm going in a meeting. Can you please make sure that people see my face?
I've turned on the lights for your webcam to ensure people see your face during the meeting.
Okay, Frank, I will try that afterwards. Okay, so actually we will talk about the middle one, the middle sentence, like the one where I'm raising the desk, because that's the important part. But so this is what is very interesting about. So again, like today, there is no perfect solution for AI. What you saw is OpenAI. Costs a lot of money. It's cloud-based. I don't like that. Nobody likes that. But this is where we are today. Mike is going to talk about the local part where we are, but we are not there yet. Like that's just a thing. It is what it is. We have a blog post about AI where we position ourselves as the perfect experimentation platform for AI in the smart home. For now, we want you to play with it, find things that are crazy. We have some demos tonight about things that we found that are very interesting. This is what it is today. It's a toy because we don't have the perfect AI solution. Actually, this is really like my conclusion is that we don't, right? So it's either cloud-based, very expensive, or local and very slow, very limited. That's the two words you have today. And so, yeah, so to come back, what you can do in Assist, you can do with an AI. It's just that you can talk in a more natural way, and you can, what I like to say, present problems and let the AI come up with a solution. So, I mean, you saw it, but just maybe like a last demo. This is a irrigation valve. I have an irrigation valve in my garden. That's the only thing that the LLM knows. Actually, it knows everything I said, but in French. So this means irrigation in French. And it is in an area that is garden, but in French. I don't even have aliases. That's the only thing it knows. So you can see it's closed. And if I say, I need to just go to a GPT one. If I say like my plants look a bit dry today, can you help out? It's open. Right. So this is like the interesting part about the AI part. But like when you think about it, the capabilities, opening a valve is something that Assist can do. So like there is nothing more. It's just that we are doing it in a much more natural way.
Yeah.
And
so you could create. We have sentence triggers, right? So in an automation, you could create when I say this exact thing,
yeah.
do that, but
yes.
you don't want to. If you don't want to do that for a million different ways of saying something.
Yes, there is also something. I'm zooming out a bit because I want to show you like the valve, which is there at the same time that I'm talking, because there is also something else that it does, which is keeping context. It's a bit of a short-term memory. So you can say something like, well, I'm going to say the same thing. My plants look dry today. Can you help out? It's going to open the valve. And it knows that it did that. So I can say like, that's enough water. Thanks. which is going to be much more complex to automate in the strict world, I would say. Sorry, the valve is Zigbee based. It's a bit long, but yeah, it worked. So this is what we demoed last time in the release party, which is being able to use. I think we have a slide for that.
Could you show them how you allowed the conversation agent to access assist?
Yes, I can do that. I can do that. Yeah, I can. We can set up one like right now, which is not complex. You need a AI provider. I want to mention 3 of them because one of them is very, very important for us. It's just that it's not ready today. OpenAI, Google AI, Ollama. Ollama will be the local AI provider. They need to have something called function calling, being able to call functions. The 2 first one have them. Look, Ollama, it's kind of a work in progress, which is why we cannot show these kind of demos locally today. So for all OpenAI and Google AI, you need a credit card. You need to basically give them your credit card. They give you an API key, and you can use it. Once you have your API key, you go to Device and Services, Add Integration. You look for it, OpenAI. You just click, you put your API key. It's going to create a config entry that looks like this, OpenAI, something like this, with a prompt. The prompt is very, very small. That is literally the default prompt that I'm using for all of my demos, which is nothing. You are a voice assistant for Home Assistant. And you decide if you give it no access or if you give it the assist access, which is the access based on our intent. So everything that assist can do, this one can.
And it defaults to no control.
It defaults to assist.
Oh no! When you create it by default, it's set to no control, right?
No, it defaults to assist.
Oh, it is
because we consider that assist is safe.
Right.
It is the safest API we have, so it defaults to assist.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can set it to no, and this, as we mentioned in the blog post and stuff, assist is the first LLM API, but the system is extensible, and so other people can add other LLM APIs that do much more complex things, creating automation and so or whatever.
Yeah. And so give me a sec. I want to go to another. I should have prepared, but for the next part, even if it's written on the screen, I want to show it live. And for that, I want to disable to unexpose an entity. Okay. So, all right. So as I said, Assist has access to everything that it has access. So you can go to you can So if I can say like turn on the bunny lamp, which is a stupid example because the lamp is literally called bunny, so it's going to work, of course. I can say turn off the bunny lamp, and it's going to work, which is a very waste of tokens because I'm going to OpenAI for that. If I want to do something that is not I would say if I want to do something that is beyond what Assist is capable, and it's going to fail. So, for example, if I say, well, let's take the example of that's the 30 minutes. Sorry, that's the 30 minutes. So it's been 30 minutes that we did a demo of the. Sorry, that's nice. We have a small bug, which is cool. All right. Let's take the middle example of the demo that you showed before with my desk. So let's say that I'm working and my back hurts. Can you help me stretch my legs? And he's going to say something like, what?
Did it anyway.
You're on GPT still.
Demo effect? No, I mean, I'm supposed to be on GPT, but...
you have to get up here.
It's learning.
It's because... Okay, give me a sec. Demo effect. I'm way too big now. 1 sec. I should have looked at what was actually...
While you're doing that, there's a question here of can we have it go to Assist first and then go to the AI agent? This is on the roadmap because why waste the tokens, right? If we can handle it locally, The only like wrinkle to this is that we want to take the response and run it, likely run it through OpenAI or something, because you might have your prompt say and talk like a pirate, or something like that, and so yeah, this is on the roadmap to do, but currently does not work.
Okay, so I'm going to avoid laughing like an idiot and expose. I will show you what happened afterwards, but I forgot to unexpose things from my assist, which was very, very funny. Okay. All right, so let's try again. Okay, this is unexposed, and this is unexposed. I will talk about my standing desk afterwards, like how it works, but for now we don't really care. So please do not. Right. So it's a LLM system. It doesn't have access to anything about my standing desk. I ask him like, my back hurts. Can you help me stretch my legs? It's going to say, sure. These are the things that you can do. Which is like a sit. Stretch. The assist API is extensible. You can extend it. You can basically guide the LLM and provide them new tools, which is literally called tools. So the LLM has tools. They receive tools from the intent API. So it knows how to turn on stuff, open stuff, set position of things. But when I asking that, is like, do you have something to raise the standing desk? No. Okay. But then I'm just going to give the user trivia about how to stretch the legs. And so there was a way before to extend the AI, which was very complex. Now there is a much simpler way, which is via our scripts. So I have a script that is already ready. I don't want to do it live, but I have a script to control my standing desk, which is very simple. It's a script that takes a field, like a target position, and that does something if it's sitting or standing, which is literally pressing a button. So the desk, it's like the regular standing desk. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. I act it with ESP-HOM, and I have buttons for 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so this is how the script looks technically for a user. That's the script, how it looks. Target position of the standing desk, sitting or standing, and you run, and it does it. On our script, we have descriptions. So you can basically set the descriptions for your script. So that's basically you have the complete package. And this is what I like to think, because that's going to be simpler for us to explain. But when you think about it, if I give you access to this screen, control standing desk, let's just standing. If I give you access to this screen with the description, so control the standing desk in the office by providing a target position and this field, target position, standing and sitting, and I ask you like, what does it do? You will say, well, I think it's simple. If I click there and I click here, it's going to go to the sitting position. If I click here and run, it's going to go to the standing position. And this is what we are sending to this is what we can send to the LLM, and this is becoming a tool. So you drive the LLM, you say like, here is a new tool. The tool is called control standing desk. That's the name of the script. This is the description of the tool, which is the description of your script. And this is all of the fields and what you need to put in them. So you give them the API, more or less, of the tool. This is how you use the tool. This is a tool, and this is how you use it. And so if you do that, you will have better results. One thing before, how to add a description to a script, it's very simple. It is on the rename. So you rename, and you have something to add a description. So we send the name of the script, the description of the script, and all of the fields, if you have fields. If you don't have fields, it's simpler, you don't. What you need to do when you have this is just the same thing, more or less, which is expose the script to assist.
And these are not exposed by default, right?
Yes, it's not exposed by default, the scripts. If you do this now, the LLMs have a new tool, and so you can do that, finally.
And you don't have to restart anything. These are sent dynamically every time.
Yeah. And so now it's going to actually send it to the correct sitting position, not like to the max. And so yeah, I'm sending, and you can even ask him like, what tool did you use for that? Yeah. So that's the tool that he used. Give me anything you have on the tool. So this is more or less like the interface of the script. And then when you think about it, the script is supposed to be like an abstraction layer that is wrapping a lot of actions and complexity around a name, a description, and a few fields if you want to have fields. And that's it. Like you can just expose this as tools to the LLM so that they can use it. I think you had the demos, Mike, about that, no? Also.
Yeah, I got a couple. I'm sharing one. If I can
Yes,
show you.
sorry, Mike.
Yeah, so I've just got some quick fun demos that are related to this. I don't think I'm going to go the whole way with the leaving the house script, but I think it's important. Like, so if you don't, if you tell like the LLM things like I'm leaving the house, it's going to do what it's going to do, and that might involve like just turning off random devices that you don't quite want or locking doors or something.
Yeah,
but
I think it's important to say that like you still have the control of the data that you expose, so you can say to the LLM like that you have access that you don't, but then like it's going to hallucinate the type of things you want to say. So if you say things like I'm leaving home, then
you don't know. It usually does something sensible, but
yeah.
This is all you have to do is basically create a script that has some description that's nominally related to that. No fields here, and you just this is what I want to happen, and then once you expose that, again, very important to go expose it. Then the LLM will take that route, the kind of a guided route.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. The other script though that I think is it shows kind of the fun things you can do. Yeah. So this is a silly little script called Movie Night that sets bedroom lights, and it takes one field, which is a light color, and all it does is set the bedroom lights to that color. But I made this because I thought it was really cool to demonstrate. So I have this on OpenAI. Let's see. Oh, man, you can't even.
What I like the most is that you call it Movie Night, which you are already guiding a bit the LLM. You can remove your bar on the side.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
True. Okay, so there's bedroom. I wonder if I put the ceiling light or the bedroom lights over there. There we go.
Okay.
See it a little bit better. And this is a virtual instance anyway. But if I say something like it's Netflix and chill night. So now I love it. It sets the lights to red. I guess because Netflix is red, right? But you could say other things. I'm just getting rid of the context there. Let's say like I don't know. The kids and I are going to watch Shrek. And so it sets the green for me, and I think it's cute. J-Lo came up with, all right, so let's try a hard one, right? I'm going to watch The Artist, which is a black and white movie. And
this time he shut them down. Like before the stream, it put them white.
It put them white, yeah.
Which both of them are correct. That's the only two things that are correct.
Finding Nemo. See, you know what? If I keep the context, it doesn't change the light again.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a script problem, or if that. But if I do it again, oh, this time I set it to orange. Last time it was blue. So this is kind of tells you what color. It was finding Dory. That's right. That it went blue. So Nemo's an orange fish, right? It's the clownfish. So that's actually the LLM is smarter than me. Anyway, so that's just kind of like a fun thing where like you don't have to specify the color. You do something indirectly, like, and you can get an idea. Okay, the LLM knows about the general colors of these things, and so that could be your discotheque idea there, Frank. Give the LLM access and see what it does.
Yeah, I do have one or two more demos.
Okay, you go ahead.
No, actually, one of them, which is actually interesting, is that I specified that at the beginning. I wanted to come back to that, but we built the tools, which are called intents. We ask language leader to have sentences so that you can target these intents in a strict way. So set a timer for 2 minutes, and then it sets the timer for 2 minutes. And so every time that we create an intent, by default, the LLM has access to them. And so today we presented timers. And so LLMs have access to timers. I wanted to find a nice demo for LLM-based timers. I didn't. I was not really creative for that one, so I just made something that is funny, and I'm just going to let you enjoy. It's not that amazing, but just it's to let you know that everything that we built for the voice part is accessible through LLMs right from the start, because that's how it's built, more or less.
How long does it take to...
Sorry, let's do the beginning.
Jarvis, how long does it take to soft boil an egg?
To soft boil an egg, it usually takes about 4 to 6 minutes.
Jarvis, start a timer for that.
A timer for 5 minutes has been started for your soft boiled egg.
It's cool. I mean, yeah. I think I have another comment.
Jarvis, I actually started 2 minutes ago. Can you reflect that on the timer?
I have minutes that have already passed.
Yeah. So again, like it's always the same thing, you know, like we have an intent to create a timer and to remove time, so the LLM can do it, which is cool. Something that I have to experiment with that, but now the LLM they have the ability to perform commands in the future, and I wonder how dangerous this could be. You know, make sure that my house is safe when I leave. And they would understand, like, okay, I'm going to turn off everything at 8. Or, you know, like I want to try, like, I like in the middle of the day, like I feel very tired. Tonight I'm going to bed early, just to see a bit what happens, because I think that they're going to say, like, oh, okay, yeah, 7 p.m. You're in the bed. Everything is out.
So yeah, his question is continued conversation on the roadmap. Yes, on the roadmap. We want to have it so that the LLM or the voice assistant can basically say, I'm going to start listening again and waiting for something. Kind of a tricky thing there is to know when the conversation is done. The LLM probably could be smart about that. One other option is just to listen for a little bit, and if you don't hear anything, you know, go say, okay, conversation's over, kind of deal. But yeah, this is something on the roadmap.
Okay, the last demo that I want to show before we go into the local part, like all of the local part with NVIDIA, I really want to have a discussion about that. This one is a bit crazy, and Madalena told me that it was me building Skynet, so that's cool. But I'm just going to show you the whole thing because it is very simple to do that, and I think that it's super interesting it's funny for people that with kids, just people that want to have a good laugh. So I'm going to start by the really beginning because this one is actually very simple. I have a helper that is called agent personality. It's a text. It's a text helper. So create helper text. The maximum length of the text, because I want the maximum description. I just call it agent personality. And I put a default value, which is your name is assist. So that's step 1. Step 2 is I change the prompt. And you will see that it's not rocket science. I just did something very simple. On the prompt, I said, like, this is the prompt by default, which is like, you are a voice assistant, form assistant, etc. And then I just added that. Here is your personality with the string. That's step 2. So now you could think, okay, like you can change the personality and then just talk to your LLM, which is cool. But no, I made the LLM change its own prompt, which some people think that it's a bit crazy, but it's interesting. So this is a script called change personality. I had to go a bit overboard on the description because sometimes the LLM was telling me, like, I don't know how to do that, so I had to just keep adding things. So the description is change the agent personality by providing a precise and thorough description of its key components. Example, a drunk pirate or Jarvis from Iron Man. I had to add that. Everything is possible. Otherwise, it was saying, like, I don't know how to do that, which was funny. And the script is very simple. One field is the description of the personality agent, which is a text, and I'm just setting it, that's it. And then I have another one which is called reset personality. Reset the agent's personality, no fields, and I'm just putting back your name is assist. And now we can do this, which is the funny part. So let me zoom out a bit. So the nice thing is because I'm persisting it on the state machine, it's actually persisting across everything, even across device now. So I can say like, hey, actually, who are you? Can you become Jarvis from Iron Man? I really liked these movies. Use as many reference as possible. Did it work? No. Wait, give me a sec. Is it exposed? Because I removed some of the things for the demo. Maybe it's not exposed anymore.
It's exposed.
It's interesting. Okay. Maybe I didn't use the keyword personality.
It seems to really not want to. I wonder if they've trained it to resist.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. I don't know. Okay. And so like now I'm talking to so it wrote its own prompt. So I am assist, an advanced AI with persona of Jarvis from Iron Man, efficient, articulate, always ready to assist. And so that's cool. Like I can basically start to say like, who are you? And so it still kept the name assist. Yeah. Okay. Can you change your personality to Jack Sparrow? And so that's what's nice is that now if I go back to like if I go back downstairs and I talk to my voice assistant, it's going to be Jack Sparrow more or less, like forever until I ask him to do something else, right? Can you?
The kids will just love this.
That rhymes. That always rhymes. Oh, sorry.
It did start rhyming.
Yeah, so now it's funny because I have an assistant that does things in my home. So I can say like, can you turn on the bunny? And it's going to turn on the bunny while rhyming. Turn it off now. But I set it up via voice. Reset personality. Reset. Yes, reset. And so now I'm back to assist. Yeah, so that was like the small, small demo that we had, which was funny.
When the future generations wonder why the planet is so hot, we'll say, "Did you see these cool demos? I mean, AI really is awesome."
Yeah.
Which goes into local a little
yes,
bit.
let's talk about local. We don't have slides for that, but even I am interested about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not. There's no amazing news here. We don't have support for all of this cool stuff in Olama yet because it doesn't have support for function calling really. Now there are other local AI projects like the one called Local AI, literally that does have support for function calling. Some models from Olama do have support for it with special tokens that you can send, but we have not gotten anything yet that's I don't know that we feel comfortable releasing, and that works with hardware that's even close to something that an actual user might have. Now the Jetson folks are doing a great job. They have like full support for tool calling on the Jetson boxes, and it works really well. It's something we'd like to connect through maybe one of these OpenAI style API adapters or something like that. So there's I guess the problem every time I talk about this, people are like, oh, what about this one? What about this one? And that's really the problem actually. It's that there's 100 different projects in various stages of doneness and maintenance, and the space is moving so fast that what I'd really love is like Olama has been great because it's simple and it just runs just about everywhere and they keep up to date. I would love it if I could just say, by the way, here are the functions, and that would be it, and they would tell me, oh, but that model doesn't support it or something like that. We did try to do it through other mechanisms. So if you just like hand Llama 3 a bunch of tools, it doesn't really work if you pile on the state of all your entities. I do need to try the larger 70 billion parameter models, but at least the 7 billion parameter ones did not like do anything, which is unfortunate. So that's the state of things. We'll get there when we can find something stable that we can build on top of, basically. I'm looking at the chat here. So yeah, there's a project called Home LLM that I've been really impressed with. So they have a number of things, including like fine tuning a model on Home Assistant, the Home Assistant domain. I think this is really cool. I don't know. I haven't spent a lot of time yet because we're focused on some other things right now. But this is something that I'm definitely watching and I'm interested in. I've actually seen this come up a number of times. Sorry to jump topics here. We are hoping to get support for wake words on Android. We don't have a developer working on this at the moment, but this is something that's been sitting on the to-do list for a while, and it is something we want to get in there because you don't want to be streaming your tablets to be streaming all the time to Home Assistant for weird functionality.
And since we are jumping topics, people have issues testing timers on the box with the latest firmware. Something we forgot to say, because I don't know if it's going to stay or if it's already fixed in beta. Your box has to be in an area today for timers to work.
That is
but
true.
I don't think it's going to stay. I think it was just like something that
I removed that restriction, yeah.
So today, if you are on the stable version of Home Assistant, your box or your Atom Eco M5, I'm looking at the... there was a comment about the Atom not working. It has to be on an area, which you may find a bit stupid, and it is. So we removed it, but it has to be on an area.
Yeah, so if anybody is an Android developer, by the way, please... we did it at the same time. Please check out nabucasa.com/jobs, and maybe you could be on the stream for Chapter 8 announcing Android wake word.
That will definitely be your main mission.
Yes.
That's cool. That's cool.
So yeah, I think we've reached the end, haven't we?
I think yes, and I don't have any more cool demos to show, so
we can jump to the last slide, I suppose.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Yes. But and thank you not just to community members, but thank you to subscribers to Home Assistant Cloud, because that's how all three of us now are are being funded to continue to work on this and to grow voice in Home Assistant. I think we've come a long ways in the last year and a half. We're just a couple of people going up against multi-billion-dollar corporations, but I think we're doing pretty good. And as always, a big thanks to our language leaders. These are the people that translate the voice commands into the various languages. So they're always ready to jump in there when, at midnight the night before the beta, I'm like, hey, there's a new intent. and they jump in there and work on that, which I appreciate. So, and yes.
Yes. Go ahead. Tete is twice a language leader because he is twice a language leader.
Because
he's twice on the
he's twice because he is two language leader for two languages, and because he's beyond 2x in terms of performance, I'll say.
Yes. Actually, I would like to encourage anyone to I found like the work on intent very interesting because I don't code, right? I'm a product manager. I don't understand these kind of things, and the syntax is not that complex, and it's very nice to like you're in your living room. You say a command doesn't work. You're like, no, that should work. It's not that complex to go to the intent repo and understand a bit how like what the language leader had in mind when he created the sentence, because they are mostly like we are mostly alone. Like I'm doing them with Paul for the French community, but we are trying to make sure that at least we are two, which is great because we are able to bounce ideas. But sometimes you're just missing commands because we don't know. Sentences because we don't know. So that's it's very very interesting to just help.
And reviewing helps a lot. So I have the URL up here. I tried to do what I can, but I was educated in the United States, so I'm very limited in my language abilities. But any help anyone could offer would be much appreciated.
Yeah. So it looks like this. That's the repo, omniscient intents. And again, as I said, I'm not saying it's simple, but it's not impossible to get in and to understand how it works. You have like a folder called sentences, then you have your language. Let's go to English. And then you have like all of the intents. Yes, they have weird names, but you understand what it is. So this is to get the temperature of a climate control. This is to set position of a cover set position. You click on it, and then you have like all of these things. So open, close, the name, position to, etc. And I mean, okay, this one was actually pretty like the simplest part, but some of them are simpler.
Hopefully the fans are nice.
Turn on all the fan in area. So this should work, right? And so you kind of, again, like it's not that simple. Like these things mean something. This means something, etc. We're not going to go into detail today, but it's really nice to help there, even if you are someone that doesn't know how to code. I'm doing it. It's super cool.
I'll say it again for someday in the future. I mean, maybe AI will just run on everything by that point, but we're aware that the sentences are restrictive. You know, we try to add as many as possible, but the goal was that these were actually going to be used as training data for a system that was more flexible. And it's turning out that it seems the AI stuff is able to fill that role. It's just, unfortunately, that doesn't run on a Raspberry Pi 4 or 5. And our target hardware for all of this was to run on a Pi 4, which it currently does quite well. You know, the sentence processing, because it's so simple. But I'd like to still get something that runs on a Pi 4 5 that's much more flexible in the future. That's not full-blown AI. So as with everything, it's on the to-do list.
Cool. Right, we have like 8 more minutes to up until the 2-hour mark. Should we just go back to see the micro wake word demo? I have it there. It was so cool.
Sure.
Right. Let's go. Wait, give me a sec.
I'm going to demonstrate Micro Wake Word version 2 running on the Atom Echo, and this only has an ESP32 chip, no S3, and it also does not have any external memory. Hey Mycroft, turn the lamp on.
Turned on the light.
Okay, Nabu, make the lamp red.
Color set.
Hey Mycroft, turn off the lamp.
Turned off the light.
So both of these models are running simultaneously on the device, so no audio is sent to Home Assistant until the wake words are said.
That was the highlight of the stream for me. That was cool. All right.
Yeah, the Google Coral. Sorry, I didn't click the button.
You're good.
You know, the Corals don't seem to have the correct architecture to really run LLMs on them. They're mainly for what's called convolutions, which is kind of more for vision processing. You can use them for other things. I think, you know, Micro Wake Word uses convolutions for some parts, but
yeah, that would be way overkill.
Oops. But there are important recurrent operations that the Corals don't do. It's looking like the Jetson boxes are kind of the cheaper for the what you get option for doing LLMs at this point. It would be nice if AMD would kind of come in here and do something, but they've got their own. They're like targeting like the high end folks with their like 128 gig GPU that they just put
Mhm.
out and that kind of stuff. So us
Yeah.
peasants are not worthy.
I have a question for Kevin. Actually, like maybe like quickly because maybe you missed the beginning of the stream. Yes, Micro Wakeboard 2 run on an ESP32 board. Actually, better. You saw the demo. Run twice, 2 Wakeboard on a single ESP32 board. The small question: the pause between the Wakeboard and the command, is it faster, the same? With
Right now, yes, it's you typically need to pause. There's a couple of parameters that set when it will detect it. You've set like a confidence level, a threshold saying you have to be 90% confident to accept it. And you also have to have a different parameter that says you average it over, say, the last 10 probabilities you've gotten. So, well, now I have them on 5 in the version 2 models. Well, the 5 windows of data would be 150 milliseconds now. So there is a delay. And right now, Micro Wakeboard, when it detects the word, it says, yeah, it detected it, and then it passes it over to the voice assistant component. And so we can't share the microphone data at this point. So yeah, you need like 150 millisecond delay at least. And also the wakeboards, they have a little bit of required gap in them just built into them. It's not much, but I think at some point we'll be able to get it where, okay, you can just continue on without a pause afterwards.
There
it's
is
interesting. It's interesting. I never thought about that, but do you think that Open Wakeboard is actually faster for the gap between the Wakeboard and the voice because we don't share anything? It's the same microphone stream to Home Assistant. Do you think that the handover of the microphone between Micro Wakeboard and a voice assistant is actually making delays?
well,
I don't know. I don't think I've tested it enough to have a feel for it. I might.
no. What's happening there is what I'm doing in the streaming and on the WEM satellites is I keep a little bit of a buffer of the audio, and so it actually, when the wake word is detected, it actually starts taking the audio from before the wake word slightly was detected and pushes it in. And so that's how you can do it almost gapless, but it really depends on the model, because different models will like say it was detected a little bit later, a little bit early.
Yeah.
So this is something where I imagine there were a ton of engineers at like Amazon, like
Alexa is crazy about that. Like
just working very hard.
All of their marketing material is like this. Like no one in any Alexa commercial is making a post. So you talk to it like this because you are formatted to that. I have an Alexa in my living room, and when I talk to it, it's crazy. It's like, Alexa, open the door. It's like it's compared to like Siri, where I say like, hey Siri, open the door, because I don't know. It's funny. Alexa is just a word where like
One thing I found is the Mycroft model that I demoed. It's really fast, like really fast. So that one, that might be good enough. I'm not 100% sure why that one trained that way, even though it has like that 5 window look back that averages over.
Better than Okenabu?
Yeah. If you in the blog post, that video you just played, you can see it, and you can see, at least I can tell the difference because
I can tell the difference.
So much. There is a little bit of a difference.
Since we have less than 2 minutes left in the stream, we should probably mention that yes, Nabukasa is working on a speaker. JLo, maybe you should speak because you know.
Yes, I mean not a speaker. We are working on a voice kit, which is going to be the simplest experience to start voice. Like let's actually go back to it. This is funny. Like I wanted to mention it at the beginning, but I forgot.
I forgot to.
All the way back to the slide. We said like, hey, that's the simple part, Home Assistant server, Home Assistant cloud for text to speech, to text, and you have the satellite in the middle. And this is not simple today because, this is simple. This is too weak. It's too small. You don't want to put that in your living room. This is impossible to find. They are sold out since forever. And so, yes, we are working on a voice kit that is going to be a voice kit. It's going to be based on ESP Home. We have almost nothing to share because we don't want to share things that are not finalized. So we are working on the design. We are working on anything. But the goal is that will that speaker be enough to play music too? I think that's the requirement for the speaker is room filling, meaning that you will be able to hear the audio in a living room. You are not going to have like big bass like Sonos. So don't expect the voice kit to compete with like a $500 Sonos speaker, right? But the sound is going to be miles better than this, meaning that it's going to be room filling. You will be able to put it in the side of your room, and you will be able to actually listen to, hear the commands and hear the response from the other side of the room. What we can say is that the XMOS chips, I guess Mike or Kevin, you can talk about that because I'm going to say some mistakes.
So we're going to use an XMOS chip. They have, it'll basically do all the audio processing for us. So if there is audio playing back, it will filter it out from the incoming audio. So acoustic echo cancellation. It also just cleans up the audio to emphasize voice. So it should hopefully handle, loud rooms with white noise, and you're saying your command across the room. It should help. Help with that.
Jayla, do you have anything to say on this, or we'll pass?
No, actually, I don't want to say anything for two reasons. First of all, is that I don't remember, and second of all, is I don't know if it's finalized enough to be able to say something. So I don't want to say anything.
Okay. Keep in mind, not saying it's not going to cost $1,000 or something like this, but keep in mind that the nearly free Amazon Echoes and whatnot that are getting thrown around and given away, for signing up for a checking account, like those are being subsidized by them, basically like taking your data, right?
Yeah.
And in Amazon's case, attempting to, sell you something while you're trying to turn on your lights, which turns out didn't work. Who could have thought? So this is going to be when you purchase a voice kit, it's going to be hardware that you own, that you can reflash and do what you want with. And that there's not going to be an ongoing subscription just to use it. I mean, if you want to use Home Assistant Cloud, certainly that's great, but you could actually, amazing, in 2024, you could purchase something and then just do what you want.
The time scale for the release right now is we want to keep it very simple this year. That's it. This is what we want to. This is what we are confident to communicate this year.
So I guess this was our one more thing, right?
Yeah, that one. I mean, that would have been nice if we said like. I have it here now. That's not, no. This is just a joke. Nobody saw it, right? We are just designing it, but yeah. So a voice kit, ESP branded, with a nice user experience. We know actually where it hurts today. We know that, for example, pipelines is so complex. Like creating a voice assistant, you become expert on TTS, text to speech, VAD, conversation agents. We want to make all of this simpler so that you buy the thing and you just use it, and it works. Micro wake word is obviously part of it because it runs on device, etc. Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, please wait, and we'll be excited to share details as we finalize things.
Cool. So that's it. That's the end then.
Yeah, that's the actual end. We don't have a.
All right. See you then.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.